Enjoy 1% merchant commission when you accept Lanka Pay cards. Contact these banks today.
Welcome to Times Online. Today we have Mr. Ravi Dahanayake, Director, Ceylex Plantations Private Limited, to talk us through the company and its future plans. Welcome, Mr. Dahanayake.
Thank you.
Mr. Dahanayake, to start off with, could you please explain to us about the company's roots and the decision to form such a company?
Basically, Ceylex company is an engineering company. The company is involved with power sector distribution, both locally and in the African continent. Ceylex Engineering is the mother company. So the company thought they should start up with agriculture businesses for one reason, to give value addition to agriculture. Other reason being a national service.
You have brought us to a critical junction in our discussion. Precision agriculture, Mr. Dahanayake.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I would say it's called site specific. If you take the fertilizer and all the other things are precisely onto that. The fertilizer and all the stuffs are made according to a plan. Plan is site specific. It's not ad hoc way of
Doing agriculture
inputs, giving agriculture, but it's site specific. So that is precision agriculture.
Mr. Dahanayake, when you decided upon this type of venture, explain to us how you got into it initially.
Company started off with a tea manufacturing processing plant in Diniyaya. We are into manufacturing black tea. We have one of the largest tea factories in company, one of the largest tea factory in that down south, right? Which we can manufacture 20,000 kilos of green leaf per month, or else 100,000 kilograms of made tea per month.
When did you acquire this plantation?
When the initiative took place that the electrical company, engineering company should venture into agriculture, all these two projects came in one shot, both tea and coconut.
Mainstays of the country.
Yeah, stays of the country. Tea is one of the breadwinners for the country's economy, I would say. So we intended to give a quality tea to the ultimate user, and that's to keep Sri Lankan brand name at the best hype. Tea for Sri Lanka is the answer. All these years, 150 years it had lasted. So now it's time that we give some additional boost. A lot of companies are venturing into agriculture. This company also, because country, the food security is now absolute in a dire state, as you know.
It is a big question mark, food security. I want to backtrack some more. An engineering company getting into agriculture, it is quite surreal actually. You must have done your due diligence in agriculture.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how did you come to that?
This can link together. Because in the sense, our engineering technology, engineering tech expertise can be put into agriculture and manufacturing, both. Because engineering is part of infrastructure development, right? So if whether it is being processing factory or field development, both engineering applies.
Is this the only thing that you're into? The tea factory, is that the only thing that you're into?
In manufacturing, yes.
Okay. Please tell us about your coconut estate.
Coconut, we have 90 acres of coconut with 6 acres of paddy. This estate, when we took over, it rather neglected state because the private sector owners couldn't manage due to high costs. We started investing on the property, giving the inputs back to the estate. Not that company was taking out money from the coconut, but instead whatever that is earned and more. Why reinvested with the cultivation, diversification, underplanted 12 acres of guava. Likewise, we had done a reservoir on the estate. Then also we had done a storage tank, store 3.5 million liters of water from the reservoir to the storage tank. From that, we have already brought in the Israel technology. Our engineers are doing it. That's why the engineer comes there. Our engineers are doing it. The Israel technology have been brought in, and we have invested heavily in giving underground water supply at the rate of 60 liters per palm to each and every 5,300 coconut palms on the estate. We are contemplating to getting into white oil manufacturing at the coconut estate. Next step, we are on the verge of having a lot of initial discussions with the scientists.
This is quite a feat, Mr. Dahanayake. How much of money did you invest in this project, the coconut
Well, the
estate?
equipment have been brought in, we spending $46,000. Now the implementation project is starting somewhere around next week. Our engineers are doing it.
Mr. Dahanayake, this is really interesting indeed. So, would you be looking at backward integration in your projects?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because this is one thing. Because coconut is a palm that you can use for everything. Maybe timber, charcoal,
Multi-purpose product.
multi-purpose plant. So we are trying to get the white coconut oil manufacturing process, then into virgin coconut oil. Fair trade is the most important thing in this game. We are trying to pay a reasonable price for the outgrower to purchase their coconut other than to our own coconuts.
Are you looking at any other manufacturing plants?
Yeah, we are on the verge of looking into other aspects such as cosmetics and things like that. We are supposed to see one of the cosmetic plants in Colombo. Don't know where right now whether we'll get into that particular plant or we'll start out on our own, but we are contemplating those areas as well, because value addition is the most important thing in the coconut business. It's a huge demand for raw coconut right now, as you know. There is value addition to that product, a lot of scopes for the future. Employment generation is also one aspect that we have to look into. When you have manufacturing plants, you can engage educated youth of this country. That is, we have a social responsibility. The parent company believes that there is a social responsibility by the youth. We are not making any profits out of this, but we are reinvesting right now. Ultimately, there may be the opportunity of gaining profits also, but still there will be so many people benefited out of it.
Mr. Dahanayake, when you mentioned cosmetics, the story is getting more interesting. So, you are looking at either acquiring a cosmetic plant or going on your own, I suppose.
At the moment, we are trying to see a cosmetic plant. As you know, I mean, you got to pay for the brand as well.
Absolutely.
Existing brand means you got to pay for the brand as well. So that's a huge amount of money. So to create a brand also, there is a lot of money involved. So we will work out the pros and cons, and finance is available, everything is there. So we will work out whether we could develop a brand of our own and get into the market, or else acquire an existing brand.
Mr. Dahanayake, are you only looking at tea and coconut, or are there any other agricultural products in your radar?
Yeah, why not? We have planted guava, we are going to plant pineapple, we are going to plant banana. Guava, already 12 acres have been planted.
Mr. Dahanayake, is this for exports or local consumption?
We will think of exports later, but there's a huge demand for guavas in the local market because it has a lot of medicinal values.
So will you be looking at, say, fruit juices or things like that in the future?
We would prefer to increase the production and give the product to somebody else to do that part. Backward integration is important in certain area, but if you try to do everything, you can't have everything in one basket also. There are maybe people who are doing that business. There is a demand for guava, so we will initially give our guavas to the buyer, like how we sell our tea to the buyer. It's the same way. Value addition is done by somebody else for tea. We are manufacturing, processing the tea.
In time to come, Mr. Dahanayake, would you be looking at listing in the Colombo Stock Exchange, for an example?
Time to come, yes, possible. Firstly, development has to take place.
In terms of food security for the country, what are your thoughts?
Well, we have at the moment, for our tea and coconut both, we have acquired the ISO 22000-2018 accreditation, cultivation and the tea factory both. We have employed an agrologist on the estate. From what the estate was to today, we have improved on both price and crop.
It's quite a lot to take on within the 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think you have your plate full.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving an insight into these wonderful opportunities that you're creating for Sri Lanka and Sri Lankans. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
That's it from Times Online. Thank you very much for joining us.